Ah, the Sega CD, a system truly ahead of its time, yet at the same time was also kind of a buggy piece of crud. However, there was a light in that darkness of countless FMV games, a light that many fans of the series love, a light simply known as Sonic CD. Welcome again, one and all, to the Sonic Retrospective. So before I talk about Sonic CD, this is probably a good time to talk about my opinion on the side series games of the Sonic franchise. Games like Sonic Gear games, the Sonic Riders franchise, Sonic Advance, Sonic Rush, Sonic Battle, the Mario and Sonic Olympic games, any cameo he's made in the Smash Brothers games. I will get to them, just not yet. I want to do the main canon Sonic series first. What I mean by that is, I mean games that have had huge impact on the Sonic franchise, or what I feel really have to be covered, whether I want to or not. So why am I doing a Sonic game that was on a Game Geek add-on console? Simple. This game had an amazing impact on the Sonic franchise. It introduced two characters that have become a series staple, both a hero and a villain. It also has one of the most celebrated animations in the Sonic franchise. And of course, it's considered to be, by many, to be the absolute 100% best Sonic game ever made. Too bad that last part isn't true. Yes, symphony by symphony of hate. Before you run back to the Sonic Retrospective intro and say, he must think that Sonic Adventure 2 is the best Sonic game of all time. Actually, I don't. It's merely my favorite. Favorite game does not equal the best game. If you want to know what I consider the best game in the Sonic franchise, that would be Sonic Generations. But that's way down the line, and both might be subject to change with the upcoming release of two newest Sonic games. But yeah, I think Sonic CD is overrated. Is it a bad game? Well, no, but is it the greatest Sonic game ever? No, it's just okay. It has really, really glaring problems, but we can get into that as we dive in. First, I should probably address one of the main reasons this is considered the best Sonic game ever made: the United States soundtrack. You see, upon the Sonic CD's release, there were actually two versions of the soundtrack, one for the Japanese and one for the United States. The best part of me playing the game on Steam is that there's actually a choice between the two of them. It's amazing how different in tone they are. Here, I'll give you a great example.
Sonic Warrior, you always need a day. You got the power to save the day. Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, keeps you running faster. Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, save the planet from disaster.
The United States version seems like this is going to be an operatic, swelling, epic adventure. With the Japanese version, sounds like it's Sonic doing what Sonic does. It's like a love letter to him. Gameplay-wise, it's very different too. Like, listen to the boss themes. Japanese soundtrack sounds a lot different, doesn't it? It's more lighthearted in tone. Sure, Eggman still sounds like a bad guy, and it's clear that he's still the enemy, but compared to the US version, though? Switch do I like better, the fun and lighthearted Japanese soundtrack, or the dark and sometimes even terrifying American soundtrack? I have to go with the good old US of A. Not only is the darker tone more welcome, especially in the dark atmospheric levels in the bad future sections, however, I love the main theme song. This is the soundtrack that brought us Sonic Boom. Now, if you want to talk about something perfect in this game, Sonic Boom is probably one of the best lyrical songs in the entire Sonic franchise. It's at least my second favorite. So what's the plot of this game? Well, like I said before, there really isn't much of a plot to these games in the early stages. However, I have to give a lot of praise to the opening animation. It actually tells a story a little bit. Eggman has taken over a place known as Little Blue Planet using items known as the Time Stones. He uses these Time Stones to take it over, and it's up to Sonic to liberate the enslaved world. The first level in this game is called Palm Tree Panic. It's a fun little intro and a great place to talk about another mechanic of this game, the time travel post. There are 2 posts in this game that go to the future or the past. You get enough speed, without you're up to them, you go to the past or the future of this level. Now, the reason why they do that is, well, obvious. It's called the Time Stones. If you go back to the past, then maybe you get the Time Stone back there, it says that you might have created a better future. The 3rd stage is always in the future. Whether it's a good future where you stop Eggman by taking all the time stones from between the previous 2 stages, or a bad future, is up to you and how you do in the special stages. Throughout this playthrough, you're actually going to see me in the bad future constantly, and I'll get to why in a minute. However, continuing on Palm Tree Panic Zone, we'll get straight to the boss. The boss is okay. Eggman comes down with 2 spring arms and says springs will bounce you back, and eventually he gets overconfident, you destroy his machine, stay calm, don't think say a scream with you, and you'll be fine. Before we get to the next stage, I better tell you about the special stages, and I think they're the worst special stages in the Sonic franchise. The objective is to destroy these UFO things, and then you get the time stone. Sounds easy enough, right? 11 different spices of wrong. You have a limited time to do so with the Force 3D perspective, which is a pain to hit things, many things that will intentionally slow you down, and unlike in Sonic 1, when getting to the stages is actually a lot harder because of another problem I have with this game, which I will get to overall. After Palm Tree Panic is Collision Chaos, aka the Casino Glamour level, and it is here where we meet the 2 newest characters addition to the franchise, Amy Rose and Metal Sonic. Amy Rose, or Rosie the Rascal as she's called in this game, is something that's actually caught her cool in the Sonic franchise. However, there was something that was bugging me throughout this entire playthrough. Why did Sega ever change this design for Amy? I mean, design changes happen all the time, and I like the modern Amy look just fine. However, it's just not the best design for her. I mean, the Sonic Boom thing is probably my favorite of them all, but classic era Amy looks just adorable. And modern Amy looks kind of generic in my opinion. However, that more than makes up for it with the introduction of one of the best Sonic villains in the entire franchise, Metal Sonic. He is one of the most popular villains for the franchise, and for good reason. The idea that Sonic basically had enough of Sonic crap and has made his own robot hedgehog and had said robot clone try to kidnap his mortal enemy is awesome. This is also where we get our first pixelated scene of the franchise as Metal Sonic kidnaps Amy Rose. Collision Chaos also highlights a major problem with the Sonic game. It's too fast. Now, I hear where you're going in the comments. Creature, it's meant to be fast. Sonic is the fastest thing alive. True, speed is what sells these games. That was my main problem with Sonic 1. It slowed down way too much when it was meant to be high speed. However, when it comes to speed, in Sonic CD, when it speeds up, it really speeds up. It becomes uncontrollable and you get hit pretty much by everything that moves. It's too much of a good thing, which is just as dangerous as too much of a bad thing. The stage itself is also really confusing, going up random hyper-speedy sections with no rhyme or reason. The boss in this level hurt me. If you want to see why, here's my raw, unfiltered reaction. Sorry for the audio, I did not know that my computer mic would be picking this up, but I'm really glad it did.
Oh, yeah, I remember why. I have to play Sonic Spinball. Oh, that's fun! Get up there. Get up there. Get up there. Get freaking up there. Thank you. Jesus. Oh my God, really? Really? Isn't it robotic? All I had to do is make me go okay, up the tank. No. there! Get up there! Get up! Are you me? This is ridiculous! Oh my god, this is why I hate this game! I feel like I'm trapped in a cocoon! Oh, finally! This boss!
Yeah, to say I don't like this boss is a bit of an understatement. It's confusing, hard to control, and the pinball it's doing is nearly impossible. Maybe it was because I was set in the bad future stage, but this was outright insane. Next is Tidal Tempest, and I'm gonna give this to this game. This is how you do Labyrinth Zone right. The water problem is not that much of a pain, it controls just fine, and is the second best stage in the entire game. The greatest example is the boss fight. You're chasing down the good doctor again, and if you played Sonic 1, you think it's same old Labyrinth Zone, same old chase. However, it's an actual boss fight! Finally! It's a nice little fun fight, and I like it a lot. Next is Quartz Quadrant, and it's, meh. Nothing really to write home about here, and honestly, all I could say is it's one of the most powerful levels in the game, and that's all I really got. Even it's kinda lame. You just dodge obstacles while you wait for Eggman to essentially foil himself. That's going to be done later in other Sonic games, but this is, I've always hated those type of bosses, to be perfectly honest. After that, I get richly rewarded with my favorite stage in the game, Wacky Workbench. This is where the developers had a lot of fun and where the improved speed of this game is actually more of a help than a hindrance. You're basically shot up on these giant bounce pads and you have a ton of fun, and the boss is easily the second best of the game. It's fun to test your abilities, and now we get to everyone else's favorite level, the classic Stardust Speedway. Stardust Speedway is a pretty okay level, but let's be honest, the level itself is not why this game is famous. It's the Bad Future boss fight, where it's a race between you and Metal Sonic. It's an epic race to be sure, and it's very hard to win, actually. You have to beat him into the finish line without falling too far behind or getting fried by Metal Sonic using his maximum overdrive attack. It's enjoyable, fun, and actually very heart-pounding. The ending where you save Amy is one of the most satisfying endings for a Sonic level. Then we quickly get to the final stage. Yeah, you ever notice about this game? This game's actually pretty short. We're already on the level of the game. Metallic Madness. The level itself is a lot of fun and it puts your skills to the test like any final level would. It's fast-paced, it's alright, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. However, it feels like Scrap Brain Zone light. It feels fun, but it feels like it could have been so much more. However, I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Credit that deserves to be given. The final boss is a huge improvement over Sonic 1. It's actually somewhat challenging, and I still find them easy, but compared to what we had last time, it's a heck of a lot better. For one thing, Eggman seems a lot more competent, and then after that, we get the ending cutscene that reminisces all the greatest moments in the game in glorious animation. And Sharon's in the sky shows his appreciation for Sonic, and then Sonic darts off, and also showing that Eggman has a time stone, but Sonic ain't having none of that. He's picked some rock, throws it into Eggman, and it's really nice. A little bit for another adventure. And that's Sonic CD. I just have a thing to say about it. Man, the game is beautiful. The intro cutscenes and the exit cutscenes are both fantastically animated. The adventure is a solid idea. However, the control feels slippery. The movement speed is the exact opposite problem from Sonic 1. It's way too fast compared to way too slow. The special stages are entirely loathsome. Some of the bosses are downright annoying. Does that mean I think it didn't bring any good to the franchise? Of course not. Sonic CD Boss, Metal Sonic, and Amy Rose, two characters who've been making an impact on the fandom to this day. However, it's just way too frustrating to me. And don't worry, if you like this game, if you think it's the best Sonic game ever, I will not hold it against you. To me, I think it's an overrated game that needs to be toned down a bit for the hype. However, if you want a true blue sequel to Sonic 1, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, next time, we're going to reintroduce you to one of my favorite platforms of all time, and the first game I remember playing. Ladies and gentlemen, let us go to Sonic 2.